Guys, can we talk about Madeline McCann? Now, this is a really sensitive story, so I'm warning you now. It's a story about a missing child. So, if this is going to trigger you in any way, please skip this video. Otherwise, this story has come about in the news again, so I really do want to talk about it. So, if you are from the UK, you will know this story. If you are not from the UK, then it's unlikely that you will know this story. So I'm just going to give you a brief update. There are various documentaries on TV, and I think there's also a story on Dr. Phil, I believe. So do go check it out. So essentially, Madeline McCann was a British 3-year-old child who went missing on the 3rd of May 2007, whilst her family were holidaying with some friends in Praia da Luz in Portugal. So this story has been described as the most heavily reported missing person case in modern history. And so that was 2007, which is about 16 years ago. And her whereabouts are still unknown, although German prosecutors believe that she's dead. So I'm going to go into this for a moment. So what happened in a nutshell was that Madeline McCann was on holiday with her parents and her 2-year-old twin siblings and a group of friends and their children. Now, the friends' children and Madeline McCann and her twin siblings were left to sleep in their bedroom at 8:30 at night, so 8:30 p.m. on a ground floor apartment, while their parents, so Madeline McCann's parents and their friends, went out for dinner at a restaurant that was 55 meters, so 180 feet away from the apartment. So there were no adults supervising these children. They were all out having dinner. And at certain intervals, one of the parents would go back and just check on the children. So they would check on the children throughout the evening until at one point at 10 p.m., it was discovered that Madeline was missing. So over the following weeks, obviously, Portuguese police, British police, obviously did various investigations, and, the Attorney General was involved. It went all over the press. There were press conferences. Obviously, the parents of press conferences. I think both parents are doctors. So Madeline McCann's parents are doctors. So it went all around the world, all around the news. There was massive press conferences, massive searches. And there's been various criticisms about the investigation, about the search, as you can imagine. And there's been various documentaries from different perspectives, from the British perspective, from the parents' perspective, from the Portuguese perspective. And it's been going over the years with massive press coverage, documentaries, and so forth. And like I said, it's such a big story that it was even covered by Dr. Phil. So at one point, the parents were seen as suspects. So they obviously went through quite a lot with that. And obviously it turned out that they weren't involved. And there's been various other witness sightings that a man was seen walking down the road holding what appeared to be a child, that there appeared to be a sighting of a person getting into a van, and there seemed to be a sighting of a van. I mean, you've got to remember, it's really dark. And it's also really odd that obviously the room was filled with other children, and yet none of the children seemed to give any indication as to what happened. And I think the window was slightly open. I don't know whether it was opened by the person or it was left open by the parents. I don't know. It was obviously a very tragic situation where no doubt the parents are kicking themselves and killing themselves over the years because they've obviously made a really huge parenting lapse and mistake. So no doubt they are killing themselves over this. But this story has captured the attention of the country, attention of the world, and indeed the attention of a lot of Europe for many, many, many years. I mean, this is since 2007. So there's also been various witnesses giving accounts and giving reports that they've seen Madeline, in other countries, that they've seen her in North Africa, that they've seen her in other countries of Europe. So there has been a spark of interest and press coverage as the years have gone by, and no doubt the parents have wanted to obviously investigate each lead. There was at one point a suspect, only a few years ago, because there was this German man who was convicted of rape. So yes, so this guy, I believe, is a German man, and there was a lead that he is potentially a suspect, because I believe he was in the local area at the time, and obviously he's got this sort of history of sexual abuse. It was suspected that he was the lead suspect, and he is in a prison, I think, in Germany. So obviously the German police have got involved in the investigation. So you've got the resources of the British police, the Portuguese police, and the resources of the German police. So I don't know where the investigation lies with respect to this suspect, but I didn't really see that the investigation progressed. So I think that there is a lack of evidence against this guy. But then what happened quite recently, I saw again in the news, was very sadly a lady who I think is Polish. She had come forward and said that she was Madeline McCann. So she says that she was raised by this other family, and that, you know, she has certain features that Madeline McCann had, Madeline McCann has like a discoloration in one of her eyes, and then this woman also has that, and so I think she's a similar age or something. So she was, or she may not be similar age, but was lied about her age or whatever. So she was basically alleging that she was Madeline McCann, and she appeared on Dr. Phil, and so obviously there was a DNA test done, and she was not Madeline McCann, and her family were like, she's got mental health problems, we're so sorry, you know, we don't know why she's done this, we don't know why she's saying this, why she believes this, she's our child, blah 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 blah. So again, very, very tragic, and that obviously happened recently. There was a slight resemblance with Madeline McCann, but obviously not entirely. But it obviously very sad for the family, and my sympathies go out to them, because this is hugely tragic, and I would never wish this situation upon anybody. But what we have now, and why it's in the news now, and you can see from this BBC article that was only written a day ago, that the police are now, I think they've got a lead from the German police, and apparently it's a very credible lead that the German police are taking very seriously. So the Portuguese police and the British police have now obviously got involved again, and what they're doing is searching a reservoir in the Algarve. It's a reservoir where the suspect, the convicted rapist, is said to have spent some time after the disappearance of Madeline McCann, and what he describes as his, I believe, perfect place, or what have you. So basically, it's his favorite place to be. So they're now searching this reservoir for any evidence of Madeline McCann. And I think specifically what they're looking for is the clothes, the pajamas that she was wearing on the night she disappeared. So it's now come about on the news. So obviously I've seen it on the news again, and I thought, really? And then I thought to myself, how much is this costing? And really, what is this amounting to? And then I saw a report today that in terms of the British police, so I don't know about the Portuguese, I don't know about the German police, but in terms of the British police, it's costing £13 million for this investigation. And this investigation has been going on for 16 years. Not to say that there may have been some stops. I'm obviously not sure. I'm not suggesting it was continuous for 16 years, but it's 16 years ago that she went missing. Now, I have every sympathy for this family, and I can understand that if there is a lead, you're going to obviously want to explore it. But at this point, 16 years later, does it not become looking for evidence to essentially give closure to this family, to put an end to this case, to say, okay, we've now found her pajamas, she's now possibly dead, or to say, well, actually, we don't know, so therefore it's still open? I feel like it's more to put an end to the case, it's more to give the family closure, because in reality, what are you going to find after 16 years? Is it realistic that you're going to find her pajamas in a river after 16 years? I mean, is this realistic? And should we be spending this amount of money to give this family closure after I know it's probably a case where they blame themselves, so they want to do everything and anything to try and find their daughter? Because look, the reality is that there are plenty of other children that have gone missing. There are ones that we see in the news. There are ones who have been found, ones who have not been found, ones who've been found dead. And there are many, many, many children that we do not hear about because they do not get press coverage. And there are loads of children out there that have been killed, that have been raped. There are investigations that do not have the amount of resources that have been put into this case. There are investigations that do not have the same press coverage as this case. And there are investigations whereby, or cases whereby families need bereavement counselling, families need support, children need support, need counselling. And it's just not happening because there are no resources. And we know, obviously, putting these types of cases to one side, that obviously the economy, you know, there are people, there are nurses, there are teachers who are protesting for more money, and we are spending money on an investigation like this. And I'm sorry, but it's 16 years down the line, and unless there is a credible source to find out if this girl is alive, I think it needs to just go. Because I wonder, and I know I don't want to be skeptical, but I wonder if this woman, if this girl and this family was a family of color, would this still be going on 16 years later? I don't know. I want to put it out there. I want to say I don't know. But I just don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that makes this particular case special. Maybe it's because it was so widely covered. Maybe because the Portuguese police have some sort of chip on the shoulder, something to prove. They want to prove that they've been able to resolve this. I don't know. Maybe the German police getting involved and spending resources because the suspect that has been named is German and they also want something to prove. I don't know. But it seems to me £13 million over 16 years is a lot of money, and we're still nowhere closer to finding out what happened to Madeline McCann. So, you know, I wish their family well. And, you know, what do you guys think? Do you think that it is right to continue to spend money on this investigation? Do you think, look, time goes by and then you'll hear this story, you'll hear something about this story again. Is it time to put it to bed now? I can imagine if the police were to say, right, investigation closed, that their families would be completely petrified because that's it, isn't it? And they haven't got their closure and they're still killing themselves every single day. And I would never want to wish that upon anyone. And all I can do is wish them luck. You know, maybe crowdfunding or public funding might give them some money to carry on. But this is all about the public interest. And I just don't think that this investigation should carry on. So guys, what do you think? Let me know. Bye guys.